Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Countdown Scouting Network. I'm your host, Joey Garcia. Um, yeah, it's been a while, so I want to apologize for that. Um, you know, I I don't really have any excuse for it. I was planning on kind of starting stuff up right before the college season started up. Um, and I ran into a couple things and then I kind of delayed myself, and once I started delaying I kind of stopped, or I guess I kind of pushed myself to delay even further. So again, no excuse, but we're back for season two. We got a lot that we're gonna start doing, so I'm very excited for it. Let me pull up my sheet just so I can tell you guys everything before we get into Wildcard weekend. So we have some things planned. Wild card weekend. Again, if the audio is bad, the visual is bad, I apologize. My mic isn't really working too well right now, and I don't have my usual camera. Um, we're gonna get things together. I promise. We'll get some things together. So a couple things here. Today we're gonna talk about wild card weekend. We're gonna start doing two, maybe three uh, of these videos a week. I'm going to try to keep it between 10 and 25 minutes. I think people like that stuff a little bit more. Um, so one thing we're going to talk about is the Lamar situation. We won't talk about it today, but I just want to give a preview. That's going to be a future episode, probably next week. I'm going to try to get it in. And we're also going to do some fixture franchises. So, for some teams that aren't in the playoffs right now, they're really looking towards the future. We're going to go on tankathon.com and go from the number one team, the team that's got the number one overall pick. Congratulations, the Chicago Bears. We will start with them and kind of see what offseason moves we can do to put them in the right direction for next year. And so we're going to do those on Mondays. First episode, Chicago Bears, will be coming out next Monday. And we're also going to do them on Fridays. So look out for those Fix Your Franchise episodes coming out on Mondays and Fridays. Once we get closer to actual draft time, that's when we'll start doing mock draft Mondays like we did last year. We're not going to live stream anymore. I think it's a lot better for the viewers, and it's also better on my schedule, not having to plan out a time. I can just do this whenever. I'm doing this at 5:45 right now on a Thursday. I'm going to drop this video right after, but I could do it at midnight one day if I wanted to and just plan out. It's going to be easier on my schedule. I've got a full-time job on top of trying to be a good husband and also coaching high school football. So a lot on my plate. But this is for fun. This is for knowledge. I like it. And I know you guys like it too. So we will at least, of course, the cats come back in. We will at least have 3 episodes a week during the off season, and then things might slow down in the summer after the draft. But we're gonna try to get some NFL news, college news. I know transfer portal and signing day for recruits is happening. So we'll start talking about that a little bit too. I also want to bring on some player spotlights and talk about some guys that I've that I've scouted and that I like, what teams they would fit on and where I see them going. That's going to be something to look for in the future as well as putting this year's class up against last year's class. So this year's quarterback class, looking at the depth compared to last year's quarterback class and kind of putting them in a ranking, then going into other positions as well. So again, these are some things to look forward in the future. So just stay tuned for that kind of stuff. For right now, we will be previewing Wild Card weekend. So I'm on right now I'm using OBS and I only have one screen. So again, I apologize for the roughness of what you're about to see transpire. It's a new thing for me. I haven't used OBS before. So all right, here we go. So you guys can see my mouse and everything, I imagine. If not, this will never go up. So we'll see. Let's just break down the playoffs. We'll start with wild card, the first game, which is the 4:30 game on Saturday. This is 4:30 Eastern against the Seattle Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers. I think this can be a little bit of a game. more of a game than people are thinking it's going to be. But again, I got the 49ers in this one. I think Seattle's gonna keep it close for the first half maybe. But I see a double digit win for the 49ers in this one. So my prediction, I think Brock Purdy's going to be fine. I think CMC, Christian McCaffrey, and I think Debo, and I think Elijah Mitchell is coming back, I believe. So it's gonna be running on both sides. Both teams are gonna run the ball a lot. It's gonna be uh, about who has the first turnover. Really, I don't think there's gonna be very many turnovers in the game, but I think whichever team has a costly mistake, I think that's gonna kind of take it. Um, I think it'll be the Seattle Seahawks, and I think it'll take them out of this game. So we'll say final score. I think it'll be a low one. I think it's going to be 24-13. That works. 11 points. 24-13. I think it'll be a late touchdown that puts the 49ers up by multiple scores. So the next one is the night game on Saturday. Saturday's primetime game on NBC. I guess it's on Peacock too. That's cool. It's the Los Angeles Chargers. I almost said Las Vegas. Los Angeles Chargers versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. I want to say that the Chargers have the weapons and they have the better defense, but Jacksonville's got some spunk to them. They're young. I think they have the better head coach, and Trevor Lawrence is coming into his own as well. So if Mike Williams is still injured for the Chargers, I think it's a no question Jacksonville win. I'm gonna say this one's close. I'm going to give it to Jacksonville. They're at home, and I like their coach a lot better. He's been in the playoffs before. He's won in the playoffs before. He's won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles at quarterback. I think he'll like having Trevor Lawrence at quarterback. So this one, I think this one will be more of a shootout. I will say this one is 34 30. I like that. 34-30. That's my final score. Jacksonville wins it 34-30. All right, now we'll go on to the Sunday games. This is the 1 o'clock Eastern game between the AFC East division rivals Miami Dolphins and Buffalo Bills. Man, the Dolphins are without Tua Tagovailoa. They are without Teddy Bridgewater, so they have seventh-round rookie Skylar Thompson out of Kansas State going up against. I think the Buffalo Bills are fairly healthy. I don't think they really have any key contributors out. You can go ahead and tell me I'm wrong in the comments if I am, but it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be snowing this weekend up there. I think I was hearing a cold front was coming in. I don't like this for the Dolphins at all. This one might just be a blowout. I think this one is a 20-point game by halftime. It's going to be a rough one if you're a Dolphins fan. I know you guys are happy that you're back in the playoffs for the first time since 2016, I think. But it's a rough matchup, guys. It's going to be a rough matchup. I think who's Buffalo's backup? Is it Fromm? Do they have Jake Fromm? I think you'll see some of Buffalo's backup in this game in the fourth quarter. I'm going 40. Oh man, I'm going 42-6. That one hurts. That really does. That hurts. But 42-6 Buffalo. All right, coming back to fun games, and by fun games I mean weird teams. We have the New York Giants at the Minnesota Vikings. This one's a weird one. The New York Giants, no one thought they would be in the playoffs. I didn't think they'd be in the playoffs. I like Brian Dable, but I thought they were more of a rebuild team. I was thinking maybe they win 6 games. They win 9 and look good doing it. They have a lot of holes on their team, but Minnesota's weird. They're weird. They're a team that screams fraud. I didn't want to say fraud, but they're a team that just screams that they're going to choke in the playoffs. Again, they're playing the New York Giants. And so this one is a tough one. I think this will be an interesting game to watch. I want to say Giants just so I can take an underdog. I might bet the Giants money line, but right here, I will say Minnesota Vikings. It's going to be close. It's going to be a weird one. It's going to come down to the last minute. That's my prediction. It's going to be last minute. There's going to be weird turnovers in the game. There's going to be a bunch of strange things happening, but I will say Minnesota is going to win, and we will say it's another 20-point game. So we'll say 28. Yeah, 28, 20, 20. We'll say 30 to 28 Minnesota. They get a late field goal to win it. 30 to 28. Yes, 30 to 28 Minnesota. Do the Giants score that much? I don't know. They get 4 touchdowns somehow. Okay. I don't know. This next one, the Ravens. I don't know if Lamar Jackson's going to be playing for them against the Bengals. So it's Ravens Bengals, another division rivalry. I guess so. That's 3. Yeah, there's 3 division rivals playing each other. That's pretty cool. Yeah, 3 division rivals with the Seahawks, San Francisco, the Dolphins, Bills, and the Ravens, Bengals. That's pretty cool. So this is their 3rd time seeing each other, but again, the Ravens without Lamar Jackson. I like Tyler Huntley. He's injured. It's going to be Anthony Brown, the undrafted rookie out of Oregon. That's tough. Buffalo's defensive backs are kind of their weak point, but they're not that bad. I don't see the Ravens with the receivers they have, with the quarterback they're using. I don't see this passing game looking good, and you can only run against 8-man boxes to such success. I think the Bengals handle this easily. I would take the Bengals point spread, whatever it is. I think I'm going to. Man, I'm going to say Bengals. I think they're going to lay off the gas. Again, this is a night game. Why is this one a primetime night game unless they think Lamar's playing? If Lamar's playing, I take back what I say. But I still think Bengals win regardless. But if Lamar's not playing and it's Anthony Brown, I'm going to say 37-13. Yeah, 37-13. Okay. Now, going into the last game, Monday night. This is prime times game. This is what everyone's going to be watching. There's no college football on. There's nothing like that. Everyone should watch this Monday night game, and I think it's going to be a stinker. I think this game is going to be gross. So we've talked about low-scoring games with just running the ball with Seattle and the 49ers. We've talked about close games with, both the Giants, Vikings, and the Chargers, Jags games. And then we've talked about blowouts with the other two, with Miami getting blown out by the Bills and Bengals blowing out the Ravens. I think this one is just going to be bad football. I think it is. And I think the Cowboys should win. But I don't want to bet against Tom Brady. They're finally getting an offensive line back together. I'm going to say Tom Brady ends up winning this game, but I don't like it. This is weird. I'm thinking next week we're going to look back at this and we're going to say, what the heck was Joey talking about? I could be off on basically all these, but the vibe that I'm feeling, I'm going off of a little bit of analytics, but mostly vibes. This is the least informed decision making that you'll see on this channel. But we're going vibe check, and vibe check is saying at Raymond James Stadium, Tom Brady is going to get his 7th win and be 7-0 against the Cowboys. This one's going to be an ugly one. This one's going to be an ugly one. We will say 20. Oh, no, thank you. We'll say 23-19. I don't know how they would get 19, but that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling 23-19. All right, so recap it just before we leave. We've got the Seahawks losing a close one to the 49ers. Oh, no. Thank you, though. Here, jeez. We've got the Jacksonville Jaguars beating the Chargers in a close one. We've got the Bills blowing out the Dolphins. We have the Vikings. Did I say the Vikings squeaking by? I think I said Vikings squeaking by the Giants, like they have been doing all year. And then the Bengals blowing out the Ravens. Unless Lamar's there, then I think the Bengals win a close one. And then Tom Brady and the Bucs on Monday night beat the Cowboys, and Mike McCarthy gets fired, and they probably go after Sean Payton. So that's what I'm thinking. Here, the screen's going to get ugly for a second. I'm sorry. Put it back to just my face. I'm sorry. Everything's on the screen right now. Oh, no. All right. Yeah, guys, that's what I'm thinking. Go ahead and put it down in the comments what you're thinking on those games. What's your favorite game to watch? Even what you're betting, if you're doing parlays, if you're doing player props, go ahead and put those down in the comment section below, and gamble responsibly. Have fun watching the games. I think next week we'll talk about the Hula Bowl. I'm going to the Hula Bowl this weekend, so I'll kind of talk about what I see during that. So everyone, stay safe. Have a great day. And again, sorry for leaving for a couple months, but we're back, baby. We are back. Peace.